The Hall of Presidents, for some strange reason, has reopened, but without the presidents doing their show. I see what they did here, an unprecedented move. The Hall of Presidents lobby reopens while the show remains dark, and Disney is silent if they're even going to reopen it. Now, it's kind of interesting. People saying, well, it's because Trump is the president now. They had Trump in there before, and they had Trump giving his speech or a clip of a speech. But when he won re-election, normally what happens is they shut this down for about a month while they readjust. They already have the Trump animatronic. It isn't like they were trying to build anybody new and put that together, and then they reopen it where you watch a film, a history film of the presidents, and usually the sitting president just gives a few lines from a speech. That's about it. Nothing controversial or anything like that. But this just pushes more the rumors that they're going to shut this thing down. Another one of Walt's creations while they go ahead and destroy the rivers of America. And this is interesting because right here, let me bring this article up. Mainstream media is getting involved because Disney World fans fume as theme park closes 3 iconic attractions, and they just have lists of people letting Disney know that they're canceling their trip. They're not going back anymore. They're sad about the happiest place on earth. Disney World fans are fuming after the theme park announced the closure of 3 of its most iconic attractions: Rivers of America, Tom Sawyer Island, and the Liberty Square Riverboat. The beloved destinations are set to shutter on July 7th. Park Hoppin will be there to make way for Piston Peak National Park, a dirt track road in this area, a new attraction based on the Cars universe. So yeah, this is, if you didn't know, we've been bringing this up. I don't know what they're going to do with this giant boat. You would think they would put it somewhere for people to walk through, or maybe they're just going to sell it off, or I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe dock it somewhere.
They're just gonna draw a face on it and pretend it's part of the Cars world.
That's probably true. Probably true. I think it's just gonna disappear.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this specific area, one, it's been there for forever, and it's one of the things that still exists that like Walt actually walked through and made decisions on, and was was born from his mind and creation, right?
Correct. Yeah, and the reason why they're saying that the Hall of Presidents might close, because when you go into Magic Kingdom, you have the Hall of Presidents, and then this riverboat, the Rivers of America, is right there. They're kind of connected. So it just seems like they're just gonna erase all that, because I guess they don't want any controversy in the park. And we learned that from the closing of Splash Mountain. You know, when they closed Splash Mountain, they were like, we're going to make it Tiana's Bayou and make it a ride that doesn't work half the time. It's one of the most broke down attractions in all of theme parks in America, not just at Disney, but overall in America. It's one of the most, for some reason, it just can't stay open. But in the article, they talk about Walts Vision and how people are just very angry on this. It's like canceling my trip in October. I'll never visit this park again. I'm heartbroken over the loss of Tom Sawyer Island. This is the worst decision ever. Walt's River of America transports you into something ideal in American values and exploration, adventure, history, scenery. A true park within a park. This is a huge mistake from Disney. Cartoon cars will never last the test of time. And it goes on. And we showed this before. This is what they're going to turn it into. If I can get rid of the top, there we go. This is what, this is what they're going to turn it into. And eventually what's going to happen, I guess, with these theme parks, there won't be anything like original, imagination stuff, such as Pirates of the Caribbean was an original Haunted Mansion.
They used to make things in these parks that would then go on to become IPs for them.
Right.
As opposed to the other way around.
Right. And putting it in the park. As if you like, for instance, they took Star Wars and made Galaxy's Edge, and they just totally made the brand even worse. They thought they had something there. We talk about the Star Wars Hotel that miserably bombed in less than a year because there was no heart and soul in that. Plus, they charged way too much. So this is very interesting. We'll keep an eye on it to see if the market share, if less people are deciding not to visit Disney anymore, That's again, they shut down Muppet Vision 3D, which was the last project that Jim Henson ever worked on before he died. And that's the end of that. And now a lot of things that Walt himself worked on and wanted as part of the theme park. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see.
And look, from a numbers perspective, when you're sitting there and you've got accountants looking over the books and you're, hey, how can we get the most bang for our buck out of the theme parks? And you look at Rivers of America, you look at this area and you're like, hey, there's never any wait times. It's never crowded. People aren't really going here that often. Why don't we do something new? Why don't we get rid of that? Put in something that'll bring in more consistent demand. That might make sense on paper. However, there are some things that are more valuable for your reputation and for people's desire to come to your parks in general and stuff like that, than just as simple as, well, these old things, not a long wait time. Let's get rid of it, replace it with something else, because it has that history and people have that connection to it.
One of the biggest takeaways is that these attractions never broke down, and they did shuffle a lot of people around. There are a lot of attractions in these parks that are constantly broken, that don't work. Rise of the Resistance, another one of their big attractions that technically was a failure because it technically breaks down, according to the statistics, every 40 minutes. It has a breakdown or a restart. Tiana's Bayou was another one. So you think you would take your money and put it in some of the product that's not working properly, instead of totally removing something that is always a nice feature for people to do. But I guess on paper, they wanted to look at something else that would bring more people in. But now we got Epic Universe open. They're going through there, making sure how things work while they're adjusting. So who knows? You wonder if people will decide to go to Epic, then back to the Magic Kingdom. This is the number one visited attraction in America. It has been for years, the Magic Kingdom. So of all of America, kind of crazy to think that they might lose that because of dumb decisions.